Welcome to the People of Rochester podcast.
Yeah! Yeah! Let's do this!
Welcome to the People of Rochester podcast. Here we share the stories of people who work hard every day to help create an environment of hospitality, hope, healing, creativity, and excitement that the city thrives on. Welcome to episode number 9.
Episode number 9.
We're getting in double digits.
That's
Wait,
exciting.
what? We're not yet. Oh, I see. You're saying next one will be. I was confused. I was like, what do you mean 9 is only one digit? I'm pretty sure.
I get to be the
She's
the
just like looking to the
penultimate single.
future. She's getting very excited,
Yeah, absolutely.
which I am as well.
Well, I'm happy to round off the single digits.
Today we have Colton. Welcome, Colton.
Hello. Thank
Welcome,
you.
Colton.
I'm really excited to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
And we also have Madison here.
Hello.
I'm
happy to be back.
I would just like to say something. We didn't touch base on this last episode, but Madison, for those who are watching, is taking just a little bit of step back because life happens. She's still part of it. She's editing, but it's so good to have you here.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be back. It's fun to record.
I got big shoes to fill here.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, my gosh. No, you're doing great. I love it.
You got master editing skills, so I know
Yes,
the
you do.
podcast will still get a touch of your value, and
Yeah.
it's exciting to be a part of it. And I know Janicki, you're very outgoing, so I'm very excited for this conversation.
This will be good. So Colton, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, hi, Colton, 27 years old. I've lived in Rochester here for 2.5 years now. It is Mayo and my phlebotomy that brought me here. And it's just been a really cool journey of self-discovery since coming here. There's so many perspectives to take in, and I certainly see this time in Rochester as an opportunity to grow and discover who I am, and I seize every day with the mission of seeing what I can get out of who. Because everybody kind of has their own journey, and I love taking those perspectives and using them to figure out what I want my own life to be about. I've lived in, Waseca, Mankato my entire childhood, and up until moving here, I had maybe come here once or twice. So it's crazy how we can have this thriving ecosystem so close to me and having not experienced it. So it's been really cool to be here.
So did you move out here by yourself?
No. So I did move here with my girlfriend at the time, and that was really integral on helping me get acclimated to the city, find out what it stands for, what there is to do. I don't think I would have had as much exposure to Rochester had I moved out here myself. So, things like the pubs, the events that we have, I wouldn't have taken as much of a forward step without her. We moved out here, and she took the time. The very first thing that we did was go to Canvas and Chardonnay.
Oh, yeah.
I have never been there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So that
it's
was...
like, I want to go there so bad, and I've never been there.
That
I
was
feel like you
such-
find out if you're a good or bad painter in your first attempt.
it was actually really, really surprising for me to get there, because walking into it, I draw with my right hand as good as I do anything with my left hand. It is not competent whatsoever. So, coming into this, I didn't really know what was going to come onto the page, or I almost didn't want to do it because I didn't think that I had any artistic prowess to do it. But she says, hey, I want to show you Rochester. I really want to do this painting thing. And so I reluctantly agreed, and we get there, and the two people leading up the class were so detailed and hands-on if you needed to be. We painted birch trees, which are my favorite kind of tree. And she walks up there, takes everything kind of step by step, really works to help you understand what you're doing. And so we were there. It's a 2-hour long journey, and it was a like half and half portrait. So she make one half, I make the other half. The two come together to make one picture. And much to my surprise, when we got done, my birch tree with gold flakes looked better than hers, and actually looked. I know it's just trees, and that's.
I love that.
All very linear, but with the shading of the background, the coloring on the notches, every little detail they walk you through how to do it and do it right. And somebody who has no artistic ability actually walked out with a pretty solid looking picture. So shout out to Canvas and Chardonnay for taking the hands-on work. It takes a lot, and I don't know how many places out there are doing the same kind of group painting kind of thing. That was the only exposure I've had to it.
Yeah.
I can't say I'd have the ambition to undergo that myself again, but I'm really glad that I did it. It was such a cool foray into Rochester, and then everything kind of snowballed as I moved, and I really got to see the two different sides that I see existing here in Rochester.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Two different sides, like what do you mean by that, and what do you mean by snowballed? Like kind of what came next?
Well, it's the snowball that comes with moving into any new place. Coming into Rochester, I had this abstract view of, well, Rochester's the Mayo Clinic. You come here for healthcare. That's what they do. That's what they do best. It's a successful, thriving city that I've watched grow around me over the course of the 2 years. But also, I have learned about the community, and it's really cool that, the businesses can come together and put on massive events like Thursdays on First and Social Ice, two of the coolest things that I've ever seen a town do, that really does bring together the, I guess, rest of the flavor of Rochester. And you really get to see the restaurants, see the people who have their own arts and crafts, really come together and showcase their work. So I've appreciated kind of both sides of that as I've come to understand the town.
So you talk about the medical side. So you came here, I'm assuming, to work for Mayo Clinic, or just kind of, because I mean, there's also OMC,
Yeah.
And you have a phlebotomy background. Now, did you do phlebotomy here in Rochester, or did you already come with that certification?
No, so I came to Rochester with that certification, and the opportunity of being a phlebotomist in Rochester wasn't the core of why I moved here. A little bit of background: I moved to Mankato with the intention of going to school, becoming a software developer, and picked up a job at the BioLife that I'd been donating at for years, because they offered their training on site. I knew that those who were really proficient at it made that difference. I picked that up, I got trained, and very quickly I realized, hey, you know what? As far as poking people for blood work goes, I do a pretty solid job at it. So I progressed through my career at BioLife, became a lead, and quickly learned through the feedback of our donors that yes, a good stick matters. You know, if I could do it anywhere, I might as well do it somewhere that has the resources to allow me to grow and to really maximize the difference that I can make in somebody's hospital stay. So I applied, I came out here, and they wanted me, and it was only at that point that the compensation and the benefits of living and working in a healthcare oriented city solidified the decision.
That's really interesting that you said that.
Yeah. So everything kind of came together at that moment, and got the job and moved here and sought out to bring that mission to the people that I meet every day, because they have all of the perspectives in the world to give me about the journeys that they're on. The least I can do for them is be that small sliver of sunshine on what can otherwise be, you know, a rough visit here to Rochester. So
I think that's awesome.
it's been really cool.
I think Madison can also agree with this. Maybe not. I don't know.
What are you going to say? Because I think I was going to say the same thing. But
You are amazing at what you do. And whether you realize or not, like, we see it from a distance. And the way you interact with the patients and other staff members, you are amazing at what you do.
yeah.
I understand that, you know, I'm there to be an asset for my work team and make sure that we can operate smoothly and efficiently. But
Patients come first.
and that's the hard thing when I didn't come here to seek the financial motive. That wasn't my driving factor. My driving factor was the patients.
I think you even said something like you had your first diff stick in what, 6 months or something?
6 months.
6 months. And that's like a crazy record.
6 months
Right?
of a perfect shot.
Perfect sticks.
It felt good. And
6 months in a row. That's that's impressive.
it's something that that you should take pride in and strive for with what we do. So
And a lot of that is just because you're patient focused though.
Yes.
Like that's
Yep,
your goal.
yep. So,
you know, you're going to go in and your goal isn't like, let me get this done as quickly as I possibly can. But my goal is I want to serve this patient as well as I can. And it's true. It's kind of a small part, but to that patient laying in the bed, like it might not be a small part,
Right.
you know, that might be something that's really weighing on them, that they just don't want another blood draw, but it is so critical to their care that it's, you know, it's a necessity.
So being in Rochester for, you said about
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yep.
What are some of your hobbies that you have picked up here in Roch?
the trails and parks ecosystem of Rochester is insane. I'd been an inline skater for probably 10 years, taking it seriously. And coming here to Rochester and realizing that, it's a flat elevation, one river kind of place, I realized that it was an inline skating haven, a paradise. You can tell the Parks and Recreation department in this town really does take their job and their role seriously in offering places to, get away from the structural workflow mentality that can sometimes plague us in our everyday life. So when I'm not at work, I want to be outside, taking my dog to the park or training her. She's actually training right now to skate my marathon route with me. She was able to qualify for the virtual half marathon this year, since obviously we weren't able to meet up in Duluth for the marathon. The North Shore directors put on kind of a virtual event. You get your chip, you time yourself, and submit those results. And I was on a live Facebook broadcasts that he was doing. And I threw up the question, hey, could my dog, in theory, skate this route? And he's like, well, for logistics reasons, she won't be able to skate the actual marathon. But since we're in this crazy world that we're in right now, it provided the opportunity for me to take my dog, who is my companion through my training, and actually get her a registered bib for a half marathon.
That is so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the time was disqualified for me, of course, but I got my dog when I moved here to Rochester, and I got her for the purpose of training her to be my companion. And so the fact that I was able to actually tangibly leave a mark on acknowledging that process was just the biggest ray of light that we could have in a COVID world for me personally.
Yeah.
And
that was definitely a highlight of your year.
It was the highlight of my year. I mean, it's the highlight of my whole journey here in Rochester is what I've learned about that dog and the open community that we have here around dog raising, dog training. This town thrives on it.
You're a very open person, but you ask so many questions, you know. And now hearing a little bit about why, I mean, you're wanting to like get to know people, but also you are trying to learn a different perspective on things, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whether it's people that I work with or patients that I interact with or people on the street, everybody has something to offer, whether it's that hot camping spot or a new restaurant to try. I didn't know what Pascal's was.
Did you go there?
I've been there a couple of times.
What'd you think?
It's delicious.
We're all like,
Oh my goodness. I very, very satisfied with the pizza there. It almost takes you out of the conventional Southern Minnesota
wouldn't you agree?
Pizza Point, and takes you to New York, and
He does what he strived to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what he wanted? The owner?
Oh yeah, that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, he knows the recipe for Creature Comfort pizza and does it better than anybody in town.
Do you have a favorite restaurant out here?
When I go out, I like to have an experience with my meal. So I think one of my favorite places has to actually be Roosters. It's classic comfort food for a bar. It's got the sports, and I like to be able to do something when I get out. So the fact that they have a solid pool and dart scene, and seemingly is one of the only places in town that really showcases it and doesn't just kind of push it in the corner. If I'm going out for, a Sunday fun day, I love being able to go out there, get their breaded chicken sandwich, and just go throw darts with friends, shoot a few games of pool. They know the recipe coming from Mankato that is very much the culture around there. And so that's where I was able to feel a lot of that community. Cool.
So do you picture yourself staying in Rochester for a long period of time, or what would you say is?
So I do. There's a lot that I want to learn about my own personal development. I am studying business to ultimately roll out a product down the road that I think will revolutionize stomach sleeping, because I'm a stomach sleeper and there's no honest accommodation for a good, reliable sleeping system. And so I invented it, mocked up a little prototype that I use at home.
Kind of exciting.
And I'm taking this time right now to study the logistics of distribution, manufacturing, and marketing. And Rochester is such a good collaborative community. I would like to see myself stay put, open up some lines of conversation with chiropractors, and really see if Rochester can serve as a hub for me getting this product developed and launched. And it's something that I think would really fit in with kind of the ecosystem that Rochester is. In the meantime, I'm here. I love doing what I do. I love being able to experience the openness of this town.
So now when you had that kind of observation that Mayo or Rochester was kind of like that medical based city, you know, Mayo Clinic, that's kind of what it is.
Right.
Now after being here for 2.5 years and actually working within Mayo Clinic, how do you see Rochester now?
It's not a corporate drone transactional medical hub that I had originally thought it was. It's an area of thriving opportunity where experts want to come. They want to collaborate and be a part of history unfolding around us. You know, that's one of the coolest things that I've been able to, as a sponge who loves to absorb, seeing the best of the best come out here for the purpose of being great and making a mark on the healthcare community. That opportunity is how I see Rochester's overall vision. They want to strive to take humans to the next level medically, as far as wellness goes, and that's been really, really cool to see. It's an area of opportunity, and that's just been the coolest thing to see.
Do you see any changes that Rochester could make? It could be business wise. It could be, you know, just anything. Like, what type of changes would you like to see, you know, for the future of Rochester?
Have something like Thursdays on First. Thursdays on First is the craziest thing that I've ever seen a town do week over week over week. It is a logistical
Nightmare.
You would say nightmare, but it's
not. They do it so
feat
well
of beauty. To me, living in southern Minnesota my entire life, county fairs are obviously where it's at. And those are big productions that you know, communities put together for a week once a year.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to say that I think the difference between a county fair and Thursdays on First is that Rochester really utilizes the best of the best in each department, like each place that they, you know what I mean? So it's not like they just have, oh, this is who we have to put on a county fair, but like, who can we find to put on Thursdays on First? Like, who can we truly utilize? It's a community
showcase. Everybody wants to be a part of
and
Thursdays
they want to show
First.
their best. So everybody who's involved in it really gives it their all.
It's like a mini state fair.
Yeah, but it's so well done.
It's organized.
It's very
for taking
organized.
a place that is right in centralized downtown Rochester, being able to close it off, not see a massive traffic effect from it, being able to take those city blocks, bring the restaurants out from their doors and put it all together up just like that, and then take 200,000 people over the course of a summer and pass them through to see it all and do it all. On the everyday, it can seem like things are a little dry out here, but then you realize when they do bring the community together, they do it better than anything I've ever seen. So, yeah.
So no room for improvement. And it doesn't have to be Thursdays. I'm just thinking Rochester in general.
Logistically, the construction projects that
there we go.
That
Had to pull it out.
well, I mean, you literally can't get around it. Construction's obviously always going to be present and evolve a city. But Rochester really knows how to take those hot spots downtown or
Methodist is bad because they at one point I drove to work and they closed off all 4 points. And I'm like, how am I supposed to get to work and in the ramp?
Like on the entire block.
Yeah, it was that stoplight that's right by the Pittsburgh Blue.
Yeah.
So if you keep going, there's stoplights right there in front of the building.
Wow.
And then you can go around because I think they're building a hotel over there.
Yep.
And so I turned around, drove home, and I walked to work because I couldn't get through with my car. Like they were all blocked.
Yeah. And that's why I found the opportunity in this town to really utilize inline skating to get from destination to destination.
You know,
you got to work around it.
You have a rep too. You with your scooter around the hospital, like
the guy with the scooter.
Your scooter boy.
Scooter boy, as Basima likes to call me. No, having those options, obviously the bike is what people see as the conventional mode of travel. But if you really want to do it, get the physical benefits out of it, and have a conversation starter, rollerblade around this town or get yourself a scooter. Lime obviously came here last year and really opened up the opportunity for those things to really make a strong comeback in this town. And yeah, it does get people talking because most people aren't used to seeing people use that as their primary mode of transportation. But when you have a town like this where the infrastructure is not guaranteed day to day, it's nice to be able to still navigate around town. Yeah.
I know a guy that had the one-wheeler scooter. Have you seen those ones out more now? And he was like, I don't go anywhere without it. And it's really easy for him to just sit next to him if he goes to a restaurant, for example, versus like the scooter with the Lime, if you will.
Yep.
And he's like, I love it. I go all over the place with it.
Those motorized kind of gravity ones?
Yep.
Those are so cool. It's a foreign concept to me as somebody who lives life under manual propulsion of wheels to suddenly have this gravity balanced machine that can fly you around. To me, it seems like the perfect option, but it just scares me.
He said he crashed a couple times.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
But you can crash. I'm sure you have stories too with your skates of stories and scars, right?
I'm wearing the long sleeves, but I can promise you that that learning curve has come with its own mistakes and errors. And I think that's what deters a lot of people from going to more of those conventional manual means of transportation.
Before we finish up, though, what I wanted to say is I think it's so fascinating that each and every guest has a different perspective. And I know that goes without saying. Everybody has a different perspective, but
that's why it's the people of Rochester.
That's right, the people of Rochester. but to go a step further is that every guest has been able to shout out a different department or a different local organization or something very specific that has added to their experience in Rochester in a positive way. We haven't had a guest who has said, oh yeah, the
Park and Rec.
Thank you, the Park and Rec.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why can't I think of the Park and Rec?
Make sure you put a bloopers at the end of this.
Okay, yeah. The Parks and Rec department.
I'll send you a link to the show.
Is No one said that yet, like we probably all take it for granted. We're like, oh yeah, of course the parks are clean. Of course the trails are.
Absolutely take it.
But we take it for granted without realizing like there are actually people who maintain it, and there are people who have put thought into it and the design aspect of it.
They've been nonstop through and through. All of the trails, all of the systems that they've built in this town have a purpose and can be connected in some way. And so, big shout out to what Rochester is doing to encourage the citizens. I mean, that's part of the healthy lifestyle that the town thrives for, is making sure that they have those options. Rochester is very much a hub of well living, and I just saw the
you
sign.
have so many good
across the street,
quotes,
and I was
Colton.
like,
No, I'm
Well
like,
living.
I literally stole that from the building across the street.
What was that business you worked for in Mankato? Bio something.
Bio Life.
Bio's on that building over there.
Yeah,
are you
definitely.
sure you're not just reading the signs out there,
Yeah.
Colton? Like, are you sure you're not?
Panicky has a
Everything-
teleprompter behind her the whole time.
I worked at BioLife. Yeah, BioLife. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. No. Everything I say is just contextually pulled from the environment around me. No. Just what a cool, inclusive culture of outdoor health and wellness Rochester has. And I think above all, my initial 2 years here in Rochester has really just been about acknowledging that point and pushing my main, honest, driven hobby that much further. So, yeah, that's what I've gotten out of it. That and the fact that everybody has a story, and if you open yourself up to have that conversation enough times, you're going to get some real, honest benefits and truths and informations and perspectives from everybody who's come from all over the world. I'm excited to see what life down the road has in store for me.
Awesome.
Thank you, Colton.
Yeah.
Well, we really enjoyed having you here today.
Thank you
Yeah.
It was
Thank you
fun
for
time.
having me to share my story and do a little ranting and raving. And, it's been a blast to watch the podcast and cool to be a part of it.
You will want to follow up, though, about your stomach sleeper project.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. This is early stages thought, but that is truly going to, I've had some of the best sleep I've ever had in my life because of that. So, yeah.
That's so fascinating.
You'll be the My Stomach Pillow guy instead of the My Pillow guy, right?
Yes.
My stomach pillow. Ooh, I should throw out a trademark for that now.
Yeah. He watches
touch
that.
me
You know,
with
he'll
that.
be all over it. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.